You got something to say, Mitch? Do you?
What's going on with your beard, Mike?
Yeah, man, it's just all over the place because, I forgot that we were doing a podcast tonight. And, so you texted me and was like, where are you? And I'm like, So I ran in here.
I found an
radio
Ashlie
T-shirt. I got no product in my hair. I got no hat on my head. I got
Oh,
no product in my
no.
beard. So I'm
Should
just
I
looking
take
all
my
kinds of
hat
things
off?
disheveled. Maybe. Oh, hey, by the way, we also have a guest.
Ashlie.
Ashley,
Hey.
how are you?
I'm delightful. How are you?
Good. This is Ashlie White, a friend of Mitch's from the Ta-Da agency.
Ta-da! Voice Works.
Yes. And, so she has graciously agreed to join us and sit and wait for us to get done picking on each other so we can actually conduct an interview.
Nah.
Before we get started, okay, there's a while back, I had to tell everyone. I haven't told anyone this. Flashback. This still rings true. Now I've acted with more people. Ashlie, I told you that you were the best. Or one of the best actors in general I have worked with when it comes to versatility and taking direction, and it still rings true. Now, I have worked with a lot, so I might say one of, but still, I just looking back, I'm like, I was so blown away when we first started working out together, and I'm blushing, I'm paying you a compliment. I feel like I'm blushing, but
Thank you. That is very kind.
I feel like I'm that third wheel. It's just like
That is very kind.
I do think it's worth
you want
saying.
to go get a burger or what? What are we doing?
Ashley's tippy top of the list of people I've worked with, and maybe it's just I understand her humor or what it is, but she's a winner. So
thank you.
let's hear that story. Mike, can you ask some questions?
Yeah,
so
I'll ask
stop
the
talking?
general question. So, Ashley, since Mitch knows you better than me, I want to get to know you better, as do our listeners. And so, normally where we start is where you started. What is it that happened in your life where you went, you know what, I'm going to give this VO thing a whirl?
Yeah. For me, I started very much in the theater world, musical theater. I was a musical theater kid, hardcore. Went to musical theater school, Broadway baby, and that was really where I was aiming to go. And graduated from college and was kind of auditioning and trying to work away, but not finding a ton of success, little things here and there.
In theater specifically?
Theater specifically. That was very much, I was sort of, had
And you
blinders
mentioned Broadway
on.
Baby. Is this in New York you were trying to?
No, in Alberta. I'm Canadian.
Okay.
So I was living I was born and raised in Calgary, and I went to school in Edmonton and was living there for a while.
All right. The Canadian theater, eh?
Yeah, Canadian theater. And
Did they throw the back bacon up on the stage for you when you do good? Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, take off.
Oh my gosh. So offensive.
I, as we all do, I had to get all kinds of other little jobs just to pay the bills, and I did all the crazy stuff. I worked at Sears Portrait Studio, which that's a whole other podcast, I feel.
Oh, I used to love the Sears portraits. They're so horrible.
But that was a time. Working at Christmas at Sears Portrait Studio is a special kind of experience. The tales I could tell, but that's a whole other.
I've got a great Sears portrait of me and my family when my kids were little, and they're all sitting on my back, and I'm sitting like this.
Oh, I set up that pose. That's in the book.
I had the frosted tips. It was that kind of
Were
time.
You in Alberta? Or what?
Yeah. Maybe
it's a book
no,
that
it was
goes
California.
we're given the poses of the suggestions. That's I know exactly the pose.
That's
I'm
awesome.
picturing Napoleon Dynamite. Can you tilt your head just a little bit more?
that way. All the props, the giant number 2. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was a time. Funny. So that was I did a lot of jobs. And one of the things, I got a job doing promotions at a radio station. I was a mugger that we literally went around with radio station mugs to businesses asking what radio station they were playing. And if they were playing our station or switched, we'd give them all mugs. And so we were called muggers.
That's funny.
And it was a fun job. It was great. But I was sort of working at the radio station as a result. Anyone who works in radio kind of knows that then if you work at the station, you get roped into doing any of the spots or any of the spec spots that they're doing. And so that was kind of where I first discovered that voiceover was a thing.
Wow.
I was friends with the sound engineer, and he'd be like, "Hey, Ashlie, we have a spot for Cookies by George that we need someone to do. Can you come in?" And yeah, so I'd record that. And the first couple, I was super stumbly and couldn't get my words out.
And
at
you
the
had to do them
microphone.
cold, right?
Yeah, and some of them weren't even going to air. Some of them were just specs that the sales team would be putting together for their clients, and some were real. Like, I spent the summer as the official voice of Wilson's Greenhouse and Garden Center.
Is that how you sound?
Yes, it was a British accent that they wanted. I don't know why.
Upper crust.
Of course, in Saskatoon, Wilson's Greenhouse and Garden Center.
Garden tools and supplies.
Yes.
It's just supplies.
And I didn't get paid any extra for this, but it was sort of a cool, fun thing that I did along with handing out mugs. And
that was going to be my question. Did they pay you, or was it just, hey, you're an intern
salary
here.
there
We know we can
anyway,
get you to
and
do
so-
this for free.
Yeah, it was just an extra thing. And at the time, I was in my 20s. I wasn't upset about not getting paid extra, because to me it was just a cool experience, and I was learning. And I sort of thought, okay, what do I want to do with this? I want to do something. So I found a coach out there. Deb Monroe was offering a weekend intensive, and because again, this was like 2006, early days. And so went and did a weekend intensive and loved it and was like, okay, this is great. This will be super fun. And then didn't really know what to do with it. I was living in Edmonton, Alberta. And I kind of was like, okay, that's a fun thing, but I'm still pursuing my theater, my other parts of my career, and was like, voiceover's fun, but I don't really know. And I didn't really have the hustle to be like, okay, I'm going to get on the pay-to-play sites. I'm going to do this. I'm going to set it all up at home. I just kind of sat with it in the back of my brain for a while.
And when was that? What year was that?
I want to say around 2006, 2007.
Oh, wow.
And kind of just was like, all right, this is a cool thing, but I don't really know. And before I left the radio station, they put together a little bit of a demo for me that I was like, great, some of the spots I've done there, and I kind of had that. But again, didn't really know what I wanted to do with it, but it was kind of there. And then I moved to Toronto in about 2009, 2010, and was still pursuing theater and film and TV stuff here. And then there were more options for voice agents and things. And so then I applied to Tada and was thankfully signed by them and put together a new demo at that point, and started just taking more workshops and classes, and kind of still being like, okay, I don't know totally how much of the piece of the pie I want this to be. I think we've talked about that, Mitch, of like the pie of, yes, I do theater stuff. Yes, I do commercials. I do this. How much is voiceover going to be? And it's kind of gradually become a bit more and taking up more and more of the pie. I've always said I'm not the person who has all the hustle and it was out there booking their first jobs and working hard on the online castings or those things. I'm the tortoise, not the hare.
Okay.
I've been plugging
that
away.
Seems okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I've been plugging away at this thing and gradually making connections and building up the skills. And it's taken time, but I'm doing it in my time. And that's kind of, I guess, the Coles Notes of how I ended up here.
That's one of the few, you're one of the few, I would say, who never stopped. I mean, it doesn't. You didn't veer a lot.
Yeah, that's what it is. I've always, since a little kid, knew I wanted to be a performer and in the arts. And I would say, I have stuck with that despite any of the ups and downs and the dry spells and all of that. I have stuck with it while doing all kinds of other crazy Joe jobs like Sears Portrait Studio.
Sears Portrait Studio, which again is a whole new, different podcast.
Yeah.
Mike, you got some?
Oh, you went, so I went, all right, Mitch has got a question.
Okay, I'm gonna, I had an as well.
Yeah, do it.
So you're doing all this, you're dabbling, you get into voice acting. Are you immediately successful when you start? I mean, at least in booking and feeling comfortable. with an agent and stuff right away, or was that a slow process too?
That was a slow process too. I think when I signed with Tada, it was like 6 months, and then booked my first job, and that was great. And it was a slow process. I would book things here and there, but not a ton right out of the gate. And I had a 2-year period where I booked nothing voiceover wise, and I still talk about it with the agent. It comes up of like, remember that time you went through 2 years? And I stuck through it, and I kept coaching and kept working through, and now I would say that I'm booking more, and I think part of it is just experience, confidence, and I sound older too. Just part of it is just age. I had a young, perky 20-something voice that was maybe less
And
desirable.
now you've matured.
Now I was an old woman.
It's all the smoking and
it's done it for sure.
We should
I
all
don't know
smoke.
fully what changed, but I think it just was sticking with it.
Yeah, sometimes that's all it takes. You just get that break and things start working for you. So is Tada your only agency?
For voice, yes, but then I do have a separate agent for on-camera theater, and film and TV, which is interesting because sometimes I'll get breakdowns for the commercial on camera, and then I'll get the breakdown for the voiceover.
Oh, wow.
So that's my goal. One day I would like to book both
To voice
sides
over
of something.
yourself?
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah,
That's
it
my.
makes
I'm putting it
sense.
out in the universe.
Yeah.
I think that would be a cool.
Double dipping even.
Yeah.
So are you only pursuing through agents, or are you doing any direct marketing or online casting or
I
anything?
tried the online casting for a bit, and I just found I didn't have the right hustle or the right personality type for it at that time. And so I kind of let that go. I think this year I want to start doing more direct marketing. I have a couple clients that are kind of separate, but a lot of it is mostly just through agents.
Okay.
And again, that's something I talk to other people, and I feel like a bit of a fraud of all, the imposter syndrome thing of all these people who are full-time voice actors, that they have all their clients and they've got all their direct marketing, and like, oh, should I be doing that, more of that, or should I be doing this? But I don't know. I've discovered you kind of have to do it in your own way and however it looks for you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, if you're happy with where the career is going, if you're like not counting on this as your sole source of income, and you're doing it because you enjoy it, and you're doing it because you get some gigs here and there, and it's sustaining you, then who's to argue, with what you're doing? Because I know I don't do direct marketing. I've done a couple of small campaigns where I've reached out to certain niche businesses, and never really got anywhere with that. And it's just it does not appeal to me.
Yeah.
To put that kind of effort into that, and to try to figure out, okay, what grouping of, am I just looking local? Am I, trying to figure all that out just makes my head spin. And some people, that's what they do, man. They just plug and they plug and they plug, and they find work that way, and they swear by it.
Yeah,
But,
it's a whole other skill set, I think, and
Yeah.
a whole other thing to work on, and that's the side that's, I don't have it in me the same way some people do, and that's okay.
For sure. I mean, it definitely helps that you have other things, and I did want to talk to you about your other things, because we've explored that a little bit, but one of them, I don't even know what to call it when I tell people about it. What is this other thing? You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't. I'm excited.
My,
It
listen.
makes it sound kind of sketchy.
Look at me. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, no, it's I do a lot of standardized patient work or standardized client. So I do it for doctors, nurses, lawyers, pharmacists, massage therapists, a variety of different industries. And often it'll be, as an actor, I'm given a profile of coming in to them and saying, oh, I have a burn on my hand, say. And it's for the students, it's either for their learning or their testing of Can they interview? Can they ask the right questions? Are they going to say things that are super unprofessional, which sometimes they do? Are they going, what is the bedside manner? What is their medical knowledge or their legal knowledge? Do they just talk to me all in legal jargon?
So do I call you in this situation? I'm the learning person, and
yes, and
I go.
Depending where, it's a different title of what it is, but yeah, the learner.
So is it something you're doing for like schools and universities, or is it?
Yeah, I do it for U of T, but I also do it for companies that do. There's some that do international licensing for internationally trained doctors and nurses that are coming to Canada to be licensed as a nurse, and so I'll do these major exams where there's a whole bunch of us that are standardized patients, and they go around room to room with all of us having different ailments. Sometimes they're really boring, and sometimes they are more intense. Sometimes they're emotional, dealing with like the death of a loved one, or sometimes you get to come in and be belligerent. You're trying to get medication from them or something.
Can you walk us through one of those belligerent ones? I want to hear about that.
I have a boil I need you to lance, and I need you to do it right now.
Well, I have to be careful because there's so much confidentiality on a lot of these.
Sure.
But there are sometimes I have the ones I like are, that you're a mom trying to get information. There's one I've done that's like a receipt that I found that I want to know, is my daughter taking medication from your pharmacy? You need to tell me this information. Or, you don't like what they're saying to you. You don't want to take this medication, or whatever it is. You can just be difficult.
So you're acting.
That sounds like that would be the fun part.
You're acting against somebody
the
who
difficult person.
Are any of them like ill prepared for like a real actor?
Yes.
Yes.
Like I've had people that have just cried the whole time, and then you feel awful. But I would say as an actor, it's very interesting because it's one of the few times that we're not on the hot seat, and you get to see someone else who is really nervous. Sometimes these are very high stakes exams or situations for them. You see the beads of sweat sort of popping up on their forehead, and you get to see how someone either turns that around and rallies and really succeeds, or you can see how someone you watch them get in their own head and kind of spiral down as a result of it. And so it's kind of fascinating to be on the other side of like, I'm not the one being judged here.
So that helps you.
I could see some kind of TV show coming out of this, something like Jury Duty. Are you familiar with Jury Duty? I could see you being, you and a bunch of people like you being patients, going in and just messing with doctors and
the amount of things that have been said to me that are wildly inappropriate or shocking that people say. Or like something like Extras with Ricky Gervais, like that kind of I feel like there's like a web series standardized. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, we could write this.
Hey, let's do it. Yeah. All right, that's the next project. We're gonna write and produce Standardized.
We have
starring Ashlie White and all her pals.
We have to sing a song with Sarah by the end of the year.
Hey, Sarah can do the theme song for that.
Yeah.
And maybe it is. What is our theme song going to be? I can't even remember.
Something about trash or some sort of weird.
You think I'd watch our own podcast and I would know?
I haven't sung the song in a while.
Busted.
Next time you guys talk to Sarah, she'll remind you and just naughty.
She's got it all written down.
But I mean that sounds like a great premise.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. That's I guess now that you mention it, you talk about doing it, it's not something that, I hear that done all the time, but it's something that you say that, you do this standardized, thing. And I'm like, that totally makes sense that exists. Mm-hmm. I may have even heard of it before, but something similar, but it doesn't shock me, but it sounds really, really cool.
Yeah, and it's a great gig that sort of is flexible and fits around, and there's lots of other actors who do it, and the flexibility is the key thing. That it's if you're busy for a while, you just don't pick up shifts. And again, it's not a full-time thing, so everything is the part of the Tetris of life, as I call it.
So now, do you feel with that? Because we've had a couple of guests lately that have talked about like we had one guest, Sean Scott, who talked about doing. He likes to do e-learning. That's kind of his genre that he specializes in. And one of the reasons he likes to do it is he likes to feel like he's helping people. He's teaching people. He's helping them learn through what he's saying. Do you get that same sense with this with this type of job?
Absolutely. And there have been some scenarios where, especially the ones where it is a more intense emotional situation, and if the students are doing poorly, I realize the importance of this, because I thought I would rather these things be said to me, who's just pretend in this situation.
Right.
I'm not actually dealing with a child who is, terminally ill. I want them to learn in this situation where it is just pretend, so that someone who is in potentially a very fragile position isn't being treated inappropriately and having things said to them that can potentially be caught, and that they can learn that, no, that's not going to be helpful.
That is wild. They know you're not and yet they sweat or they freak out or they say some weird shit to you.
Well, it's still, like you said, it's themed. It's filmed, right? I mean, they're being graded on this.
And sometimes there's just another live assessor there with a
clipboard
in the
so
corner.
They know that there's stakes.
Yeah.
Whether, even though it's not a real live person, I mean, you are a real live person, but it's not an actual situation.
Going through this situation.
They know that there's consequences if they do it wrong, so there is stress to that. Yeah, I can totally see that.
They might not be able to work as a nurse.
Like that leg's gonna have to come off, Steve.
Yeah. There definitely are times they put, she has an abnormal shoulder or whatever, and you're like, What? That's not in the case. Do I?
That's not my symptom. Yeah.
What?
You're just sitting all weird.
Suddenly you're like, do I have
And then
that
you're going
symptom?
to your actual doctor being like, I got told I got a weird shoulder.
Obviously taking testosterone.
Yeah, what?
Oh, shit.
Exactly. You're like,
Crew.
okay.
Yeah. Beard is thick and wait a minute.
Yeah, wait. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so back to voiceover. Then you're doing this, you're doing this stuff on the. I mean, I wouldn't even call it on the side. It's something.
It's
one
just
of
all
the things
pieced
that you
together.
do,
Yeah.
and then you've got the voiceover stuff, and so, we talked about you feeling like you're doing what you need to do, what you want to do, and you're comfortable and you're happy. Do you have like the next step? I mean, I know, throw direct marketing out. We know that neither of us want to do that. That's a Mitch thing. Let him do that. But is there something else where you're like, okay, the next thing I want to do and the next thing I want to accomplish is this?
I think I used to have more of that, and my goal is to stay steadily working and happy and content and fulfilled. And I know that sounds I should have more, it sounds like I'm not ambitious, which I am, but I want to just continue to cobble these things together and have a varied life and career. I would like to book more animation work, maybe. That's the thing. But again, those kinds of goals I've learned are out of my control. That the kinds of goals I can have are, I would like to apply for this many things, or I would like to take this many workshops and courses, but in terms of what I actually ultimately book, that's not something I have control of in the end. So I want to just find confidence and confidence and contentment in what my success is or isn't, if that makes sense.
It makes total sense, and to me, that is a big goal, just to be content, because so often, I mean, Mitch and I talk about it all the time, how it's like, we want the thing, we want the success, we want it so bad, and sometimes we're not content, and that just doesn't do much for your psyche.
No.
And it makes it more out of reach, especially when you know that you don't have any control over it, but you feel like you have some, so you're like, but it's right there, I can get it. And then instead you're like not enjoying all these little things that you have next to you the whole time. Yeah.
Or you get it, and then you're like, okay, well, actually that didn't fulfill me. I booked the thing, okay, I did it. Now what? That didn't solve everything.
Yeah.
I feel that way with every meal. It's like, I really wanted that hamburger,
Totally.
and it's just now,
No,
it
I
didn't
want
satisfy
more.
me.
Oh, I thought it was, I had the hamburger and now I'm like, man, I could use some ice cream. And then after the ice cream, I'm like,
Well,
I need something
yeah.
salty
Now I need
now.
some fries.
Now that you mention it, yeah, that's the next thing. I'm
Now
going to
I
hang
do
up with
want
y'all
ice
and
cream.
go get some ice cream.
Heck yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we talked about that a bit, Mitch, too, at the beginning, about that it is such a psychological game, this whole industry and all of this. And that, for me, is just a constant part of it and a constant journey, making sure that my mental health is okay. Or
Yeah.
as okay as it can be throughout this.
Absolutely. So you and Sean Scott are one of the, a couple of the few people I've met who have this strategy of take what I'm given, enjoy that, move forward just by moving forward, not by having like specific set, this must happen next sort of thing. How do you keep yourself in that, or is this just who you are?
I mean, I think it's easy for me to say that. The reality of am I actually content with that being enough is not always true. I do. There are times where I struggle with it. Of no, I want the thing. I want to be booking as much as this person or doing that. It's so I don't know that I actually always succeed with that mentality, but I think that that's what I'm always striving for.
Okay.
Is striving to be content with where I'm at and always I'm just moving forward and just doing the thing and showing up for just showing up and striving to be okay that is enough. And even if I don't succeed, I'm striving for that, I guess.
Yeah, that's a big thing, is just show up, just showing up. Because I know we've talked about it before, where there's just days that you just don't feel like doing the thing. And sometimes that's okay. Just showing up might mean stepping away for a day because your head's not there.
Absolutely.
But being okay with that. That's the thing. Because I know that's one of the things that drives Mitch nuts about himself, is those days where he feels like I'm just not there and I'm going through the motions, and then he beats himself up over it. And I've been there as well. But if you can say today's not the day and step away and come back and be okay with that, that's good mental health right there. That is a good attitude to try to have, and something that we aren't always successful in doing.
You know, a lot of times when you step away, you go out into the real world where everyone just has a job. So you go out and you see everyone else grinding. You see that mom at the,
Four kids at the grocery store.
She's on the 40th day in a row or whatever of working.
Oh, man.
It's like, why am I not doing what, like, why can't I do that?
Yeah.
And it's because some of us can't do our job if we're
Absolutely.
worn down.
If we don't have the energy. And that I'm realizing more and more how my body is this like crazy little system that to keep it in homeostasis, where I'm not tired or sad or hungry, that we aren't constantly at our peak performance level, that we do have ups and downs, and especially as creative types, that you have to come in and have energy and feel good and feel your best to do the thing. But sometimes you have to just do it anyway, and at the end I'll be like, oh, actually I felt much better after I went into the booth and did that thing, but I started out being like, oh, I can't do this today.
It's funny because sometimes that effortless, go with the flow kind of mentality actually takes effort. It's like
1,000%. So much.
How does that work?
Yeah.
Because to have that mentality, you have to work it. There's some people in this world that are just don't have a care in the world. I don't know how they do it, but I know people that are just even keel all the time, and I'm like, I don't understand how that can be your personality, because the little things tick me off.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have those frustrations where you're in the booth and you can't get it. You've recorded the thing for the 27th time and it still doesn't sound right to you, and you're just ready to take your mic and fling it out the window.
Absolutely.
Some people can just And maybe, I'm not talking voiceover specifically, but some people in life, we all have those friends or family members or whatever that are just like, hey, man, everything's good. And you wonder how they do it.
Yeah, you kind of want to punch them sometimes.
Sometimes.
And you're like, yeah.
Can you feel something?
Yeah. Can you please? This is not easy. Yeah. No, I'm definitely not the even keel, but I'm just striving to always get myself back to that and to be okay. I guess to be okay with not being even keel and to know that ups and downs are normal.
Yeah, and I guess I I'm in that same boat that I there are days that just suck.
Yeah.
Whether it's in the booth or whether it's not getting in the booth because there's just nothing there. I've had those days where it's like, right now I'm in between online platforms. So I have 2 agents and, the submissions are sporadic. And so there's times where I'll go 2 weeks, at the beginning of the year because I'm in between things where there's nothing. And I'm like, what's going on? And you feel kind of inadequate. But there's also, I have been able this time to go, all right, this is kind of where I am right now. I've pulled back slightly, to regroup and I got things, going on that are kind of postponing some other things. But I do have a plan. And so I feel good that, all right, well, I know when it's going to kick back in again, and I'm ready for that to happen. So,
yeah, I totally get that. And for me, it's also about that I have been bumbling away at this thing for a while in various ways. And so there starts to be a level of trust of it will come back around. And that as long as I am doing the work steadily, that it does come back around and that it's going to be okay as long as I'm still showing up.
Yeah, I'm definitely still that kid who's like still learning his neighborhood on his bike. And as soon as I make a wrong turn, I'm like, no! I'm like, help! Everyone help me! Everyone's coming out of the house like, what's wrong with this
Is
kid?
he okay?
Yeah, that's still
okay.
me. I'm definitely not tortoising my way back home. I'm thirsty, I'm hungry, and I need my mother sometimes. Yeah, for sure.
We got you, Mitchie.
Yeah, we got you.
Well, that's why I come
We'll be
to
the
you
neighborhood
guys.
watch sign in the window so you can come knock on the door.
Yeah.
You're like, it's okay.
have a popsicle?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, well, the reason I connect with groups like our Tada workout group and Mike and our friends and I need you guys. Like I hate to say it, but I definitely need people more than maybe some other people, and it's super nice to have this.
It's
for
huge.
sure.
It's been huge, and for me, I'm an outgoing introvert, but I am very much an introvert, and in this kind of world it's easy for me to pull into myself, so it has been really great for me to have like that workout group and to be like, okay, yeah, you can actually, it's motivating and inspiring for me to connect more with the other people. And it's been really great because you've been great, Mitch, of like pulling me out of myself, of like, don't just hide in your own little world, Ashlie.
Oh yeah, I do that?
Yeah, you do. You are very good at that.
Mitch I
appreciate that.
Yeah, let's just give Mitch a little bit of props. I mean, he's the catalyst to a lot of these things. And, he's been a great friend of mine for this past, year and a half. We've been getting together and hanging out and then started this podcast almost a year ago. And, we enjoy working with each other and being there for each other. And, and I probably would have never taken that first step had Mitch not said, hey, why don't you join us in this group? So.
Yeah, no, it takes people like you to pull people together and to make us want to be like, yeah, it is fun to get out there and meet these people virtually and do the thing. Yeah.
I wish I could say it wasn't completely so. It's just a lot of. I'm like, I need you guys. Like, are you okay? Yeah, asking if you're okay isn't me trying to get you to say, are you okay too? But like, yeah, knowing that my friends are cool too. Like, if I'm good, it's time to check. If I'm bad, like, people check on me. It's
No, I think it's important for all of us, but you're making me realize how important that is, and that's really great.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, it's the old adage of you surround yourself with good people. you know, in this industry, if you surround yourself with talented people and good people and good-hearted people who are all striving for the same thing and there to lift each other up, it can only benefit you. It can't hurt.
Right.
You know, we're not here. I have yet to, if I got into a group or if I got into a situation where I was talking to someone in the industry and they were just, you know, bashing me down or bashing someone else down or bashing something, that's toxicity that I don't need. Like, see ya. You know, I don't need to talk to you anymore.
Absolutely.
And I just don't, I don't see that a lot, if at all. You know, a lot of good people from all walks of life trying to do this thing, some with more success than others, but it's been great getting to know people and seeing people that are just cool, like you, Ashlie. You're so cool.
Well, I would say, you know, coming from the theater and the musical theater world, I was so shocked at how welcoming the voiceover community and the voiceover world is. There's not I've never felt a sense of competition. There's enough work to go around. Everyone wants to help each other and support each other, and it really is a beautiful community, and there really is not a lot of toxicity, as you say. I haven't come across that a lot, and it's been really nice to see.
Not a ton, that's for sure. There is competition in a sense, but it almost feels like a hold my beer sort of thing. Like you can come too, but I'm about to sprint, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm gonna get you, but yeah, it's more like watch this sort of thing.
But there's also, you know, a lot of people that are, you know, they love to see others' success. And so, you know, there's coaches out there that I really feel like are in your corner and want to see you succeed. And giving real advice and not give me your money and I'll tell you what you want to hear.
Right.
Not the gatekeeping,
and there's peers that are like, you know, we've had several people say like, hey, you know, I got your name, I got your number, and you know, I like to bring friends along with me. And so, you know, there's been things that, you know, things that we're still waiting on, but also things that we've been able to get involved with that are just, you know, cool because people have just kind of, hey, I know you and you're cool and I think you'd be great at this, and so let me pull you into it. And there's just a lot of that going around in this industry, and it's neato.
Sure.
It's neat. It is, and it leads to cool, different, unique things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you see that in the radio world? What was that like?
The radio world was interesting because I've met a lot of people through voiceover who got their starts in radio and were really like radio people. And I was, you know, a promotions person, and then I worked as a receptionist there. Radio was fascinating because you had all these different worlds. You had like the engineers and the sound guys who showed up in jeans and band t-shirts, and then you had the salespeople who were in their business suits and pencil skirts and, you know, that was all proper. And then you had the executives who had their own different vibe. And then you had the on-air personalities who had a whole, and so it was like these multiple different worlds all put together at a radio station. And I just found that very fascinating, how different the sort of different camps. It was like the you know, school, the jocks and the theater.
Right.
There were very different types of people working together.
And something we don't really see here unless you make a friend with that person or whatever.
Yeah.
But we're all wearing jeans or shorts or underwear.
Or sweatpants or nothing at
whatever
all.
The heck
you know?
it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I did forget for a second that you are north of the border, so anyone who works together is probably really nice to each other no matter what.
Yeah, those
Canadians
you know,
aren't
they just-
always so nice.
So nice.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, I mean, the whole Tada crew is pretty cool.
Lovely.
Are we ready
Question?
for the question?
Oh, the big question. I bet no one listening is ready for the big
last time you
question.
gave me grief because I thought you were going to ask a question, and you're like, no, Mike, you didn't ask your question. So I will ask my question, and then you can ask your question.
Oh, okay, now we're doing that. Wow.
So, Ashlie. I don't know. Yeah.
So meta, Mike. That was the most
So,
meta thing.
Ashlie,
Okay.
what's next? What's the big thing? I know you said you're but there's got to be something in your head where you're like, that'd be super cool, and I'm gonna do my best to work towards you. What's the thing? Everybody's got a thing, that one thing.
Yeah. I think for me, more animation for sure. To be on like a series, a regular character on a recurring character on an animated
Like a
series.
kids or a...
Yeah, kids. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. That would be.
You know what I'm realizing, Mike?
What?
That question always helps lead us to the Chat GPT roulette, to where we can
fuel.
It gives us fuel. This is perfect. Okay, and I know you can do that, so I'm super pumped for that to happen. Speaking of, we'll talk after. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Secrets
From everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I think to flesh out that answer too, my ideal would be to have like a theater contract that lasts 3 months, do 1 or 2 on-air commercials, be on an animated series, have some voiceover here, do a week on an indie film, and be doing the other stuff. That's kind of, I would love my year
Dip
to...
one toe in every pool.
In each of the things. Is that too much to ask?
Wacky toes, yeah.
You know,
Not at all.
Too much
Hey.
to ask.
You
Not
may
too
be the
much to
first.
ask.
Yeah, you may be the first person to ask the universe of all of that at once, but it makes sense for a person who has
Yeah.
many different pieces of the pie.
I want to be able to do a variety of things, and I don't need to book tons and tons of each of them, but just a little bit of everything throughout the year, I think, is what my goal is.
All
Sounds
right.
like a
we
blast.
wish a little bit of everything for you.
Yes, sprinkle everything dust on you.
Yeah.
I think it's got salt
So
in there.
Hey,
greedy.
who
I'm
doesn't
so
like an
greedy.
everything bagel? I
That's
mean,
right.
everything is good.
Yeah.
You get sesame seeds. That's
Yes.
it.
And poppy seeds.
Yeah.
Garlic.
Garlic. I'm gonna ask my question now, Mike.
Yep.
Remember that question that we were talking about? The question. Who's the
Come on, Mitch.
Who's the person? I'm getting wacky now.
Yeah, you are.
Who's the person that we should be keeping our eye out for or connect with? Who should listeners be watching out for out in the world?
I think, and this is what I said before, is Liana Bajwani. I think that's how you pronounce her last name.
Yeah.
Liana. I only know her slightly personally through Tada, but I just think she is one of the most talented. She is someone who kind of does it all a little bit as well. I think she came from a musical theater background, but has really made her mark in voiceover. And I've sort of been watching. I'm sure she would be surprised that I say that because, we don't connect
Everybody's
a ton.
humble.
But I just think she is someone who's really doing the thing and making it work for herself and always inspired by her.
She is so nice too. I
Yeah.
have talked to her a couple times, and she's just like, when I got nominated for something, she reached out to me. She's like winning stuff, and I was like, yeah, well,
She's
I'll definitely.
a lovely person
Yeah.
and just
Mike
really,
will have her on.
Yeah. All right. Let's
Yeah.
do it. Let's do it.
What is there something else that I'm missing? Is there something that we need to be doing right now?
I don't know, but I don't know where you're going in your booth because it's really
Where are
not
you
that big,
looking?
and you're
How
looking
big
to
is your
escape.
booth?
I feel like there's like something else we should be doing right now.
Well, we do end our episodes with the same thing every time. So it shouldn't be a surprise to you what comes next. I'm just saying.
Okay, well, maybe it's a weird night.
Maybe. All right. Good night, everybody. No, we're going to do that ChatGPT roulette thing. So we'll be back in a moment. Oh, we are going puppets. Going puppets today. All right. So this should be interesting. Are we ready, folks?
Oh, yeah.
Me?
Well, yeah, you're part of it.
Okay, I think I can do
All right, here we go. All right. A desolate, post-apocalyptic version of a Sesame Street style street. The once colorful buildings are now gray, with vines creeping up the sides. A broken street sign reads, "Welcome to Nowhere." A faint, eerie glow lights the area, and a wind howls in the background. Dr. Tinfoil stands in front of a small, half-collapsed science lab, scribbling frantically on his clipboard. Fluffers is hopping around him in circles, flapping her wings in distress. And Muffin is lounging on a pile of rubble, casually munching on a half-eaten radioactive muffin.
I've finally cracked it! The end of the world is imminent, but I've got the formula to save us! It's simple. We just need a giant muffin.
A giant what? Did you say muffin? Muffins are evil. They're too soft. What if they explode in our faces?
Oh, yo, relax, man. Muffins are like super chill, man. You can't explode. They just like vibe, you know, like me.
Exactly. You get it, Muffin.
Yeah,
Muffin's
man.
softness is a secret weapon. Think about it. Softness diffuses the chaos of the world.
No way! Muffins cause chaos! You can't just eat your way out of the apocalypse. This is serious! What if the muffins are the cause of the apocalypse? Maybe they're controlling us.
Yeah, Fluffers. Maybe the muffins are controlling you, man. Just look at you. You're flying around like a mad pigeon, man. Just eat a muffin and everything chills, man. It's just totally just vibes.
A muffin? Are you serious? What if they take over my brain? What if muffins are secretly planning the end of the world?
No, Fluffers. You don't understand. The muffin is the key. The answer to everything. Do you know how many theories I've come up with, Fluffers? Muffin-based entropy reversal. It's a breakthrough.
Entropy reversal? What does that even mean? Are you telling me we're all doomed to live in a muffin apocalypse? I can't live in a muffin world!
Oh, dude, it's not that bad. You just gotta chill with the muffins, man. Muffins, they're the answer to everything, man. Just look at them. Ah, they're soft and fluffy and squishy. Ah, it tastes wonderful. You see, all you need to do is you need to be the muffin.
Exactly, Muffin. Muffins don't worry about the apocalypse. They just exist peacefully. That's why they're the key to survival. It's all right here, in the muffin theory of survival.
Whoa.
I don't get it. This is madness. Muffins don't fix the end of the world, I tells ya.
All right, man, suit yourself. I guess I'll just eat the end of the world here. It's more muffins for me.
It's so
problem,
simple. We eat the muffins, we become the muffins, and we save the world from chaos. It's foolproof.
Like it, man.
Okay, but if I eat the muffin, what happens? Do I become a muffin?
Exactly, man. You'll be one with the muffin, man. It'll be glorious.
Yes! The muffin will guide us to peace, just like it always has.
Peace, man.
All
Peace by
right,
peace.
fine. But if I turn into a muffin, I'm blaming you both.
All right, man. Yeah, sure. Deal. Now, who's ready for the muffin revolution, huh?
Fine. But if this goes wrong, I want a refund.
Refunds in the apocalypse. There are no refunds, only muffins.
All right, chill, dude. Yeah, man. Just, embrace it. Plus, you didn't pay for it, so how can you get a refund?
All right. Let's see what happens. I don't like this.
She becomes a giant muffin. All right. That is a children's show I would watch.
Oh, yeah.
They're freaking obsessed with the whole episode.
Muffins.
Now I want a muffin.
I just love the cannibalism of muffin eating a muffin.
Yeah. Creepy.
Yeah. But hey, if it wasn't a little bit creepy, would we do it?
You're right.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, that was a good time, Ashlie. Good to get to know you. Now
Thanks for
I feel
having
like
me.
I'm your best friend, just like Mitch is.
Aw.
Oh.
Pals.
Hearts.
Now I know enough, so I don't need friends anymore.
All right, Mitch, you can be out of here. It's the Mike and Ashlie show. Next week.
Woohoo!
I've been trying to kick Mitch off this for, I don't know.
Excellent.
Learn to make this
Find a new
face.
co-host. All right.
Nice.
Bye now.
Bye.